Alright, so go ahead and feel free to put your dash back together as well as your steering column panels, and then your lower panel as well. Make sure that your premium pump pack cover plate is bolted on and tightened down, and then you can go ahead and put your seats in. Now, being that you've got a floor mount box here, these panels on the side of your seats might need to be cut down like ours is. We cut 4 centimeters off of this at the bottom so that your seat, when it moves forward, can slide over the edge of the box. Alright, the next thing we're going to go over is our Osco brake service check sheet. As you can see, this is for your post-installation checks. You're going to want to write down the vehicle owner. Then you're going to enter your vehicle VIN number, and if you want to add the actual vehicle, the mine number. I know each vehicle gets its own number on them. On the exterior, you can add that as well. Then you're going to want to put your date. If your vehicle's ran on hours, you can add that there. Ours is not. That's why I put not applicable. And then the odometer reading on our vehicles, 4171 kilometers. And this I'm going to go over next. This is going to be your brake serial number. So the left-hand side, the brake serial number would be located right here. As you can see right there, on top of your brake is going to be your serial number engraved into the top. Then you're going to want to go around to the right side of the vehicle and jot down that serial number as well for that brake. And then the next step is going to be your grease barrier seal. Did you put 2 pumps every 90 degrees of hub rotation with non-EP grease? So remember earlier, you filled the hub up with approximately a tube of grease on both brakes. And then at the end you would rotate the hub 90 degrees, 3, 6, 9, and 12 o'clock positions to fill those air voids. The next step would be verification that you put your 1700 milliliters of Osco LC brake oil in each of the LC brakes, and just circle yes as long as you did it. The next step we're going to go to is your wear pin measurement with the park brake applied. That means that you're going to want the pump pack off, the vehicle off, and the red button on the dash panel pushed in. So none of the electronics should be activated at that point in order to get your wear pin measurement. And now we'll go over how to get your wear pin measurement on your left hand LC brake and your right hand LC brake. Alright, so in order to read your wear pin measurements to see how much life or whatnot you have left on your brake, you'll need a digital depth gauge like this one I'm holding here. And all this does, you can see the pin comes out the end, it just measures your depth, so it knows how much life will be left on your brake, and I'll show you how that works here in a second. The other thing you're going to want is a decent sized flathead screwdriver to pop the wear plug off to get to the wear pin. Alright, so with your digital depth gauge, you're going to want to turn it on, and then you want to make sure that you've got it set on millimeters. If it gives you the millimeters inch option, make sure it's on millimeters, reading in millimeters. Then you want to take it to a flat surface, which the hub on the front of the brake is a perfect surface to do it on. You want to push this in the end and zero it out, okay? That way you start from zero, from perfectly flat. Okay, the next thing you're going to want to do is pop your plug out of your wear pin hole here. So just pry that out, and you'll see your wear pin inside of the recessed hole. Then what you're going to want to do is, with the end of your pin you're not going to want to go in the middle of the wear pin or the edge of the wear pin. You'll want to go halfway in between to get the proper reading. So you're going to take your pin, leave it there, hold it flat, push this all the way in, and that'll give you your wear pin reading. And you'll see ours is 7.69 millimeters, which is a new condition brake. Anything over 7.62 millimeters is considered new. Alright, so now you're going to want to put your wear pin plug back in. So grab a little bit of your LC oil and coat that O-ring on here before putting it back in. Just pop it back in. Alright, so after you record your left hand side and your right hand side wear pin measurements, then you can go down to wheel bearing play, yes or no. So when you set your wheel bearings, basically, did you do it properly? Did you have damaged or insecure pipe work? Any fluid leaks, yes or no? Is the Osco pump pack fluid level okay? Make sure your pump pack fluid, your ATF fluid, is up to the second dimple with the pump pack shut off. Then you got your brake master cylinder fluid level, .3 or 4. If that's okay, check that. How your pedal feels, your pedal travel. If it feels good, that's great. Okay, poor. Then you go down, you got your door interlock, if that's working or not. If you didn't hook it up, you can just circle NA. Ours we verified, and it's setting the brake when you open your door. And then it goes to the oil pressure interlock, if that's working. We circled yes because we tested that. Name of the serviceman, or multiples, and the initials. Then the last section on here is basically for brake maintenance. So I don't know that you'll be doing any of the brake maintenance when it comes in for oil changes, but that's what these questions pertain to. So you can go over those. If it comes in for the engine oil change, you can go over these questions here. And then we ask, if you could, to email it to pazavilko@oscoproducts.com when you're all done. Feel free to go ahead and put your wheels back on your truck now. So in this video, we're going to test the functionality of the brake light relay kit. So for the first test, we're going to make sure our button's pressed in, the vehicle can be off, red light solid, and you want to go check and see if your brake lights are on the rear of the vehicle. So as you can see here, our brake lights are on as if somebody was pressing the brake pedal. So that part of the test is working properly. So the next test we're going to do is test the flashers on the brake relay kit. What you're going to want to do is turn your key into the on position so that it's on battery power, and press your tow mode button so your green light flashes, and then you can release your parking brake. So while that's flashing, go check and make sure your lights in the back are flashing. As you can see, our lights are flashing as if your hazard lights are on. Alright, the next test you're going to want to do is fire your truck up with the engine under power. And then you're going to want to release the parking brake by turning the knob. And then go in the back and make sure that your brake lights are not illuminated. So as you can see, our truck is running, the park brake is released, and our lights are not illuminated. Alright, so for this brake light relay test, we have the engine running and the parking brake is released. So you should not have any parking brake lights, brake lights at this point. So the next step would be for somebody in the cab to press the red button, which enables the park brake to be set, which turns your brake lights on. And then the next step would be to turn the ignition off, turn the engine off. And your brake lights should once again turn back off. Alright, so the final test you're going to want to do is with the engine running and the park brake released, have somebody else get in the driver's seat and push the service brake pedal and verify that your brake lights are working when the pedal's pressed. Go ahead. Alright, so that works properly. Now all the testing's done for the brake light relay kit. Alright, the next section we're going to go over is our troubleshooting section. There are 4 different error codes that our dash panel will provide if there's an issue with the system. So you will see the red light flash either 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, or 4 times, depending on what error code is flashing. And also, just a point of advice, on the pump pack cover is a list of the error codes and resolutions to fix those. So I'll mimic some here so that you can see what they look like. So the first one, I'm going to turn this, and our system didn't start up. Now you see I've got 1 flash, and then it pauses, and then 1 flash again. That's because the system is not recognizing engine oil pressure. So the solutions for that is either the vehicle's not on, there's low engine oil, or you need to check out the oil pressure switch might be faulty. Alright, so the second error code that we have is when the red light flashes 2 times, and that means that the system is not achieving hydraulic pressure within 30 seconds. So the problems with that could be either low fluid level in the pump pack reservoir, leaks in the hoses, brake tubes, or fittings. The system may have overheated, so you're going to want to remove the enclosure cover to allow the pump to cool. The premium pump pack pump and motor are not generating pressure, or faulty pressure transducer dump valve. Alright, so this error code, the red light is flashing 3 times, but as you can see the green light is still solid. That's because this error means that there is a slow leak and that the pump has ran 3 times within 3 minutes. Which means when the driver's driving, they're going to hear the pump kick on for a short amount of time and then shut off once it regains pressure. So what you need to do is check the fluid level in the premium pump pack reservoir, verify that there are no leaks in the hoses or brake tubes and fittings. Also, the fluid may be leaking into the brakes, so check the oil level in the brakes. I would always try that one last because it's more than likely a loose connection somewhere else. Alright, so for the 4th error code, as you can see the red light's flashing 4 times. That means that the vehicle door is open. So first thing to do would be shut the door before trying to release the parking brake. Then if that doesn't do it, verify that all the door switches in the system are operational. Otherwise you're going to need to chase your blue door wire switch wire, to verify that the wire's not damaged or disconnected from behind your gauge cluster. Now, as you can see on the premium pump pack cover plate, you've got a quick operator's guide, and down at the bottom where you see the green and red is where it's going to show you your error codes and solutions for taking care of that. So the following test I'm going to be performing is a common test that the mines use for each driver before they start their shift, pre-op testing, and this will verify that the brakes are still in good working order. Basically what we're going to be doing is trying to drive through the brake in second gear from an idle. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you're in four-wheel drive low range, okay? And then you're going to want to start the vehicle with your clutch in neutral. And then come back to your dash panel, make sure your button's pushed in so that the parking brake is applied. And then you're going to want to put your clutch into your gear shift into second gear, so you can go ahead and do that. And then the final thing you're going to do is slowly let out your foot on the clutch pedal, and what should happen is you should not move and it should stall the vehicle like that. We didn't move and the vehicle stalled, so the brake is working properly. An important note is that we have 2,500 pounds in the bed of the Toyota Land Cruiser, so this is considered a fully loaded Toyota Land Cruiser per the manufacturer's manual. Alright, the first stop we'll be doing is we're going to reach 10 kilometers per hour and push firmly on the service brake pedal. This stop will take place once the driver reaches 20 kilometers per hour and hits the service brake. This will be the last service brake stop, and the driver will take the vehicle to 30 kilometers per hour and then push the service brake pedal firmly. Now we will be performing E-stops by the driver will reach 10 kilometers per hour and push the red button to engage the parking brake. Now this second stop, he'll be performing an E-stop from 20 kilometers per hour. Alright, so for the final stop, he'll be going 30 kilometers per hour and hitting the E-stop button.
Visit us on the web at www.oscoproducts.com or give us a call at 269-926-0700.
Osco is a proud member of the Cypress family of companies.